What's up, everyone? It's Willette with Urbex and Coasters, and today I'm going to be doing my 5-year plan for if I owned California's Great America. So, for those of you that do not know, California's Great America is currently slated to close thanks to Richard Zimmerman doing his thing and selling the land underneath it to Prologis, and Six Flags is not wanting to renew the lease after 2027 is what they're officially saying. I personally see the park closing before then because, stuff like the freeway sign getting demolished. So, we don't want the park to get closed. We want the park to stay around. So, I'm going to make a 5-year plan for the park if I owned it. So, 2026 is actually going to be a pretty small year for what we're doing, but we are going to see the return of seasonal events to the park, and it's going to be the same timing for seasonal events, but for our Winterfest event, it's more going to resemble my video that I made about winter events in parks and what I think would be a cool winter event to see parks implement. With the return of seasonal events is going to come that the park is going to have some operations during Niners games. So on days where the 49ers play, we're going to have the park open pregame, and we're going to have limited rides available. And when I say limited rides, I mean basically it's going to be the adult rides that are available. Kids areas will be closed. The water park will be closed. But the adult rides will be open, and season pass holders, I'm sorry, but this is going to be an upcharge on a game day ticket, and season passes will not be eligible to get into the park on this. I'm sorry, but that does make the most business sense for this as a tailgating venture. A transformation that will take 2 years to do, both 2026 and 2027. It will take 2 years to complete, but it's going to start in 2026. Flight Deck is going to be renamed to Redwood Flyer, and that section of the park is going to become a Redwood Fairyland theme that has theming of, redwood trees being a species of fae, and this makes sense because of how they make a fairy ring around the mother tree. So it's going to work in both redwood conservation as well as more mythical aspects of redwoods as a type of fairy. As a result of this, when this Redwood Fairyland is complete, you're going to see Grand Carnival replaced with a Fae Festival that has redwood stuff to it. Also, with Flight Deck becoming Redwood Flyer, you're going to see all the military theming removed, and you're going to see it replaced by theming to redwoods. You're going to see redwoods planted around the ride so that this isn't just greenwashing. And as you're going to see, this is one of a few things that we're going to be doing to be localizing the park's theme within the next couple years. But while we're at it, we saw the success of what happened when King's Dominion brought in Gravity Group to do their Grizzly. So we're going to do our own Restore the Roar, and we're going to have Gravity Group do exactly what they did for King's Dominion for us at California's Great America this year. This includes all the profiling changes that they saw over at King's Dominion on their Grizzly. 2028 is going to be our big year. We're going to be getting Expedition 1849. So this is going to be a Vekoma Hypercoaster. Think like when Vekoma put out their version of Hyperion. You can see a POV of this ride on my channel. Excuse the fact that it's B&M track. This is a limitation of Ultimate Roller Coaster and me using the free version. But you can tell it's a Vekoma by the double downs and triple downs, by the Outer Banks, which are an RMC element that other manufacturers have been quick to borrow, with that is it an inversion or is it not, that sort of resembles the Super Boomerangs as a turnaround. But anyway, the important thing is this coaster is going to wrap around Levi's Stadium, and it's also going to have an element over the front gate. And no rides are going to need to be removed for it, as it will be replacing the Great America Theater. This is going to come with the area at the front of the park becoming Niner Country. Sort of think the West Coast equivalent of Steelers Country over at Kennywood, because you've got Gold Striker there, and you'll have Expedition 1849. So you'll have two coasters that work with the 49ers as a theme. So you're going to have Niner Country that those two rides occupy. In addition to all that, at the opposite end of the park, we are going to see the removal of Woodstock Express, because the park does not need two kiddie coasters. And we are likely to see this coaster get relocated. It's probably going to go to Fiesta Texas to replace Kid Flash, if I'm being honest, because, well, that's where this coaster originally came from. It came from Texas, and it would be filling the gap of a kid's coaster in that park, and I think it would be a good fit to have there. Side note, that one might actually happen as a nostalgia play. Like, I'm not even kidding. But that removal was not done without intention, because that area of land is right next to the water park. So that opens up some land for water park expansion. And we are going to be getting a ProSlide water coaster in that area, in addition to some other slides along with it. And having that area open allows for the water park to be expanded. So that's going to be beneficial to have that. Like when the GP go to these parks, the water park is often what they go for. So, it's good to think about that when you're making out these plans. Now in 2030, we are going to be getting a dark ride, but this dark ride is going to be coming with a new land. So by Railblazer, this area is going to be getting revitalized as Frontier Village. And if you recognize that name, that's because there was a park in San Jose called Frontier Village, and we're going to be paying homage to it with this land. So we're going to have it be headed by people who were involved with Frontier Village, who are still very active today. You can read the comments on my Frontier Village video, and goodness, people are correcting me about stuff. So I'm not going to say too much about what we're going to do regarding Frontier Village, because we're going to let the people who actually got to go there lead that. But if you're unfamiliar with Frontier Village, I suggest watching the Lost Parks of Northern California documentary from the American Coaster Enthusiasts, and you will see some stuff about this park. It's possible that Railblazer gets renamed in this transformation, but ultimately the new dark ride that comes with this land is going to be the big addition. It's probably going to be replacing the Shoot the Chutes that's currently back there. Now, you can see what the state of the park is like now, where we've got a dark ride, something that the park desperately needed. We've got a massive coaster that's wrapping itself around Levi's Stadium that's going to help with advertising the park, because a lot of people watch those broadcasts on national TV of the NFL, so we've got that to help with that. And we've got lots of more localized theming, with a land themed to the 49ers, a land themed to Redwoods, and a land themed to a former park of the region. Now, 2031 to 2035. what do I see in the park's future from now that's going to be notable in those next 5 years? Well, those tunnels that were part of the train ride that the park used to have, they've been abandoned for a long time. I think it's time we do something about that. So we are going to be getting a Premier Rides multi-launch coaster like Alpen Fury that is going to use the path that the train ride took, and it's going to have its launches in those tunnels. Also, because of the fact that a lot of people get confused about that picnic pavilion that's right next to the parking lot, thinking that that's an entrance, that's going to be removed, and we are going to be replacing it with a wild moose from Rocky Mountain Construction. So we have more coaster additions to look forward to in the next 5 years, that's for sure. But I think that this puts California's Great America in a pretty good place. And yeah, let me know what you think of these plans.